What's up, guys? Welcome to Saturday Night Sports. We're experiencing some technical difficulties early, but we're good now. Everything's good in order. There's only a little 17-minute intermission, so to speak. So everything's fine and rolling. Excuse me. Let's get things going right along here. What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, some interesting things have happened. We're midway through the World Series, some interesting signings in the NFL, some changes in the NFL landscape, possibly. So I feel like we're going to have a good show, get some good ideas out there, some good thoughts going.
I totally agree, and I'm totally excited for it. I think it's going to be a great show. I think it's going to be a good time. And I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I have been liking baseball. I've enjoyed obviously the NFL season, but I really have enjoyed the postseason and kind of just keeping track of it, seeing where it's going, and kind of where these, two polar opposite teams have collided, where you have money and a farm system. Two polar opposites. It was 1-1. Last night it ended up being 2-1. Walker Buehler's on the mound. Had a nice long outing, 10 strikeouts, taking care of business. Dodgers up 2-1. Game 4 is currently on. Last I looked, it was still in the first inning. But I believe Bellinger's on the DH due to back stiffness. So that's something to pay attention to.
So he'll just be playing the bat. He won't be playing the field.
Yep.
So yeah, that could hurt them, defensive-wise.
Yes. What's your thoughts on the Rays?
It's really interesting what the Rays. I mean, you look at the victory, and it was a 6-4 victory, I believe, in Game 2. And then you look at the other ones, and they're not getting over. I believe what they had 2 runs in one of the losses, and then 4 runs in one. Their offense is kind of all over the place. I feel like that's their biggest issue. But is it their offense that's all over the place, or is it pitching of the Dodgers showing up and doing what they're supposed to do like normal? So I think that's the question. Is it pitching, or is it just bad swinging the bat?
Right.
I know, there's a catcher there. Mike Zunino was the Mariners drafted him. I know him. He's a big home run guy, or he's going to strike out. So whether or not he's having that plate discipline will all depend on. I know he's on the bottom end of that lineup, but if you have the bottom end of the lineup producing, the top end will do its part. I feel like maybe the moment's getting to him.
Right.
I think maybe there might be a little bit of that. It seems like the pitching has also kind of been not quite there. I mean, the Dodgers have been racking in some runs, even in their loss.
Here's my thing, and this is an interesting take that I heard the other morning. When it comes down to it, and you look at it from both teams' perspectives, you're all in on the Dodgers. They have to win this. If they do not win this, they're a failed team. It's that simple. Talent's there, been there, needs to be done. Look at the Rays. Right. Look at the Rays. They took care of business. They beat the Astros. They beat the Yankees. They took care of business, beat and won. In my opinion, boom, successful. You're doing great. We'll see you guys next year too.
Should. I would think so. I think at this point you could expect them to be there. I mean, they were 40-20 in the game. That was the best record in the AL.
Yep, exactly.
It's a good team. I feel like outside of Blake Snell, I think that's where the pitching question marks come in. Blake Snell, obviously a Cy Young winner. I believe it's 1 year removed from that Cy Young, but he's just pitching. He's pitching extremely well. But I think anyone outside of Blake Snell is where the questions lie.
Right.
They're not holding these bats, in place. I think that's the problem.
Yep, I agree. Because if you look at the scores, Game 1 they lost 8-3. Game 2 they won 6-4. Game 3 they lost 6-2. So it's like it's either yeah, you're either scoring 6 or more and winning, or you're losing, straight up losing by 2 or more.
Yep, and that's the hard part. I think that I just feel like Tampa Bay is just missing the opportunities that they're having, and then the Dodgers are just clinching on those moments. I feel like what we're seeing is that Mookie Betts changed a whole lot to this Dodgers team.
Oh,
He's
tons.
Mr. Reliable when it comes to taking care of business. So I think that's the biggest difference from this Dodgers team to the other Dodgers teams that were in the World Series the past 3 out of 4 years. I think Mookie Betts made a huge difference, and obviously Seager being healthy in this one. I know he missed, I believe, 1 or 2 of them. I can't remember if he missed 2, but I know he missed 1 because of an injury. So the health, and then certain guys are just playing extremely opportunistic at this point. They're taking care of business. So if the Dodgers keep going, Dodgers will definitely get their World Series, and the city of LA will be title town again.
Unfortunately.
So,
but I think at this point you don't count the Dodgers out.
Nope.
I think around every opportunity you have the Rays. They'll be there. You open the door, they're going to slide right in, take care of business. You're never going to know what happened.
No, and they better take care of business because Kershaw will possibly get the chance to really get that monkey off his back, because he'll get the ball on that Sunday night if he gets a chance to play. So the Rays need to take care of some business.
This is true. I'm hoping they even it up tonight. I really think if they don't even it up tonight, it's not 2-2. I think it's 3-1. You really dug yourself a hole there, like you said. Besides Blake Snell, who do you got? You can't put it all on one guy. It's not going to happen. They don't take care of it tonight, they're really, really going to hurt themselves.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, are you seeing? Because they escaped. They really, really escaped out of that Houston series. They had them down 3-0 and could not close the game. They could not close the series. I mean, they just kept losing. Boom, boom, boom. And then all the way to game 7, and then they won. It's like I feel like they're just either they're exhausted because they threw everything they had at the Astros, or you're seeing them just miss that big moment. And a lot of these Dodger players who have played in the World Series the past,
they're taking advantage.
Exactly. This moment's not that big to them anymore. And even though the pressure is higher on the Dodgers, I just feel like a lot of the players are weathering it pretty well, honestly.
It's true. Unfortunately, you got Dodgers up 1-0 actually in Game 4 right now. Bottom one, only one out. So actually Tampa was up first, got struck out, boom, taken care of, and now you have them, lighting up the opposition already, 1-0. It looks like they might have another runner on base shortly. Good time. So, see, they're coming out of the gate, swinging for the fences, ready to try to put this thing 3-1, almost take care of business. They're hungry, but I mean, they should. They have an opportunity to take care of business where they've basically been robbed the past couple of years. But really, from an Arizona fan standpoint, nah. You guys will be all right. You guys got that checkbook. Keep opening it up and writing them checks.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear your little, oh, but this guy. Oh, but that guy. I don't want to hear it anymore.
No.
You guys got way too much talent to hear you guys complaining as far as I'm concerned. You guys should be lighting these kids up. You guys should be scoring like 5 runs an inning, in my opinion. But that's just me. Maybe I'm a little overzealous. But that's just me.
I don't think it's that overzealous. You have some of those names that are on that team. They should be just dominating.
Oh yeah, Mookie's having he's having his way. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Having his way with things. Here's something too. Just because we're talking about the World Series and the game of baseball. So right now in the day and age, and I heard this, listening to the Dan Patrick show, and I really thought it was interesting because you're more of a fan of baseball than me,
Hmm.
and you kind of like the game for what it is. So hearing your thoughts on this would be interesting as well. So when it comes down to it, the game right now, excuse me, the game right now is set on you could throw the fastest, you could throw the hardest. I want those guys in my starting lineup for my pitching, this and that, not the guys who can really, hit the corners, get the ground balls, kind of what the game used to be, the old school way. But same thing with hitting. You're looking for the dudes who are swinging for the fences, hitting the home runs. You're not looking for the guys getting on base.
Yep.
Well, do you think it's far to believe that a team now would try to go against the analytics and get that team to be on base, to steal bases, to play defense, do what you want to do to really mess with the ability for the team to really hit the long ball?
Honestly, I think there are some teams that are trying to go against that because they don't, they like the way, defense wins championships. Base running, smart base running leads to scoring, even if you're not swinging the bat well. So it's just kind of the trying to make sure there's a viewership right now. I feel like the MLB is kind of in this weird limbo, after the whole Red Sox, whole Astros fiasco. I feel like the MLB is really just trying to make the right decisions and keeping the fans interested. Fans already complain enough at this point about, oh, baseball is slow. I don't want to sit through 9 innings and watch the same. It's
Right.
because there's a lot more going on than just two guys standing there staring each other down and throwing a ball past another person.
Well, right. That's what he's saying. You don't really have all that anymore.
No, because they want them to speed up the pitch count, and they want a pitch count clock, basically like a play clock. Every 20 seconds, they want them throwing baseballs. I think it's a bad thing for the sport. I think it's just going to inflate injuries. I think it's going to cause issues with just the way these guys naturally pitch. I mean, let's take for instance, you look at Nolan Ryan. Some of the innings pitched that guy had was absurd.
Yeah.
He was pitching entire games, 200 plus pitches a game. It's crazy. You get guys to 90 pitches in today's game, and they're already pulling them out.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, he's done. He's done. 90 pitches in. These are starting pitchers. These guys should be going 6, 7, 8 if they're
Well, I
really.
think I agree, but I think that goes kind of back to what I was just saying. You have these guys trying to throw as hard as they can. They're not really precision pitchers. You don't have guys who are hitting the corners off speed, moving what they need to do with the ball. They're just, I'm going to throw it by you, and that's just how it's going to be.
I think you watched, you got Kershaw in the World Series, you got Blake
Yep.
Snell. They're
Yep.
both individuals who work work the corners. I think some of the best pitchers in the game right now are those precision pitchers. Some of those guys, you're watching their curveball fall off the table, and where'd the ball go? Almost in the dirt. You have guys whiffing. I feel like the guys who are worried more about playing defense rise to the occasion more often than the guys who are just swinging for the fence. Yes, it sells tickets. Yes, people like the home run just like they like the 50-yard touchdown pass.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is right now. It's all about the ticket sales. It's the home run. It's the easy thing to watch.
Well, think about it. One of the most popular things to do is watch TikTok videos. They're 20, 30 seconds long. I mean, who wants to watch a 9 inning game? People want to have 20 seconds of entertainment, move me to the next thing. Now, that's the hard part. Is a lot of fans are, I mean, I hate to say it, but armchair fans, and they just want to click through, watch something cool happen real quick, and
Go to the next.
next thing.
It's true. I totally agree. So yeah, it's definitely something to pay attention to. I'm really, like I said, I'm hopeful that this goes to 2-2.
Me
If
too.
not, then I think you got Dodgers in 5, and they get past their little slump. Speaking of getting past the slump, there's some interesting people getting over certain slumps and certain things and whatnot. And speaking of whatnot, we got a friendly guest joining us. It's been a minute, but the hog side has returned. CJ, what
I
is
have arrived. I have arrived. Did you guys miss me?
Of course.
well, I don't know.
I mean,
how you guys doing, man?
not too
We're
bad.
doing, man. We are enjoying it. We got some hot things to talk about. Obviously, we can expand on some other topics for sure. Most definitely, we can always talk about what's going on in Washington for sure. So,
What's not going on in Washington is the
right.
question.
Well, that's why we
It's
got you on here.
not.
We got to keep the NFC East perspective going. There's something going on over there. I'm not sure what though.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm just going to flat out and say it is.
I like it.
This is where fans have to realize is that I don't think winning is a priority right now.
No.
I don't think winning is a priority right now. And I think right now, Ron Rivera is trying to see what guys he wants to invest in and what guys he doesn't want to invest in. And I'm not I'm not invested in Kyle Allen as much as everybody else is. I'm not at all invested in him. But I think we have some talented guys. Our offensive line improved a lot in this Giants game, but then it's the Giants.
Right.
It's the Giants.
Right. But
So
you don't have.
how much did your offensive line improve?
Right. I mean,
You
well,
know?
maybe they just played against guys who are more in their skill set. Learning how
Yeah.
to play with each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Sadiq Charles was there. They moved Wes Schweitzer into the left guard position, and Brandon Scherf was back after being out for 4 to 5 weeks. So that was a very big adjustment and improvement. Obviously, that you see that right side, pretty much held up. And then the running game. Like I get it. I get Antonio Gibson isn't the prominent running back. I know that he isn't a running back RB1, but you try to say that you say that you have this running back company, but then the running game just doesn't work. Why isn't it working? Figure out why isn't it working. Landon Collins, again, like I said, he got to get better. He needs to get better, and until he gets better, well, put him on the bench. You know, put him on the bench. And there were some good changes. Where DeShazer Everett and Cam Curl, shared a lot of the snaps, as the other safety, and that was pretty good. Kendall Fuller got another interception. He's on his way of being top 10 cornerback in the league if he's not already. But it's a lot of things that came out of this game. It just sucks that we lost another division game, and now we're down 1-2 in the division, and that's never a good thing when this season isn't as going as planned anyway, right?
Right. Going off a couple things you said, it's interesting. Miami just went through that last year with Flores chopping everything down, evaluating talent.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about seeing your offensive line improvement in certain areas, it's not necessarily it was the Giants. They might not be a great team, but then you want to see your guys take care of business against those teams.
Yeah.
Those inside battles or the wide receivers beating the corners. Something you want to see some sort of talent somewhere winning battles. That shows growth in areas that your team's going in a good direction.
Yeah. I think they didn't prepare. Honestly, that game wasn't bad. the issue is what Joe Judge just started running the read option.
Yep.
You know, he's seen that one play with a read option with Daniel Jones take it for 30 yards up the field. He said,
It's like,
"Wow,
bing.
okay, all right, let's do this 3 more times and see how it works." You know, and the way he put it inside of the drives was genius. You know, and I couldn't have been mad at it. It was actually very smart on the offensive coordinator, I believe Jason Garrett. You
Yep.
know, it's very smart on Jason Garrett's part. You know, and it's kind of weird to say. You know, knowing that it's history in Dallas. You know,
He's
but
not a terrible. He's not a terrible football mind. He can't be a coach.
he's not a head coach. Everybody can be a
Yeah,
head coach. You
he
know,
can't.
you,
No,
you serve
exactly.
your role and you serve your purpose. You know,
There's a
but
difference between taking care of 11, 7 guys and the whole team.
yep, we have Dallas. You know, Dallas is coming up, and
You have a Dakless Dallas, so you
a
guys
Dakless
can
Dallas.
pull out a victory. Okay.
Oh, we still got Andy Dalton, and despite what people may think of Andy Dalton, he still have Michael Gallup, C.D. Lamb, and Antonio. I mean, not
Your
Antonio,
defensive
Amari
line
Cooper.
get to him. If your
Amari,
defensive line gets to Dalton, then those weapons won't matter.
you absolutely right. You know, and Chase Young has been very, very motivated this week. You know, because there was a play where Chase Young, got pancaked,
Oh yeah,
and
it happened. He's a rookie.
Yep.
right, and people were saying, "Hey, welcome to the NFL, Chase,"
Yes,
and
sir.
Chase was like, "That ain't gonna happen again. Trust
Mhm.
and believe me, that's not gonna happen again." Because when that happens again, I got to hear from my mom. Not hear from my coaches. I got to hear from my mom. And I felt it. Listen, I felt it. You know, hey, the coaches could say, hey, this is what you did wrong. You know, just make sure this isn't doing it. Well, then you got to hear from your mom, who's actually has been a very big support inside of his circle. You know, with him, emerging into a top defenseman in the NFL. So and also him being local. His mom has been there. Had played a big part. So it's like, she's his manager, if you will. So she gives him the biggest criticism when he does something wrong. And that's his motivation. So, with this Dallas game, this being a rivalry and Chase being a Washington fan, this game means a lot. So he's definitely going to have a chip on the shoulder. He's going to have 3 to 4 sacks. I'm calling it.
Ooh. Well, then so what you're saying is there's going to be some rebound going on. Is that what you're saying? A rebound.
Yep, there's going to be some rebound. So,
Speaking of a rebound by a team, let's talk about this rebound of the 49ers last week.
whew.
The week before, they got absolutely trounced by Miami coming to town. And then they were like, whoa, what's going on? Kyle Shanahan and company decided to actually coach and put the 49ers in a position to be good and successful and not Jimmy G to get destroyed. Albatross, your thoughts?
So what you're saying is Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh remembered that they could coach?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. I think they proved a little bit. I want to see more. We have a lot going forward. If the team plays anything in this fashion, then we have a chance to win some of these games. I think, we come out of, and I'm not going to put this all solely on the Miami loss. The first 6 weeks of the NFL season, I'm watching this team, and I see just missteps all over the place. I see miscommunication, just nothing happening. Obviously, injury is hurt, but there's also depth players there. There's role players. There's guys who are there to fill these voids. But nothing was being changed from a coaching aspect. We're watching them put in individuals who were on the practice squad who couldn't guard a five-string, the five-string receiver on our offense. And we're expecting him to guard other people, and this roundabout thing that just was not good. I don't even know what to say. Thank goodness for E-Man coming back, because if we don't have Emmanuel Mosley, I don't think we shut down a top 10 duo in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. I think you look at a secondary that played extremely well with Fred Warner covering 20-plus yards pretty much every time he makes a tackle. Dre Greenlaw playing, in my opinion, at a higher level than everyone expected him to. I feel like you're watching him take the next step personally. But at the same time, you're watching a mediocre pass rush. It's just absurd. I mean, we're watching Javon Kinlaw be in the DN position. He's a D tackle. This is his rookie season. Quit ruining the kid's mind. Don't do this. Rushing inside is different than rushing on the outside. He's rushing tackles,
You're absolutely right.
guards, and centers. So I'm disappointed with some of the little minute movements of this coaching staff. Was it a big win? Yes. You get out of a game, and obviously, Washington knows very well the week before what Aaron Donald does, and he doesn't. He touched what two? I think it was 2 hurries on Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
No sacks. He had 2 tackles in the whole game. Aaron Donald wasn't in there. He was not a factor at all. But at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo had a deceiving stat line. I mean, it looked gorgeous. Let's be real. It looked amazing. 200 and almost 80 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 23 of 33. I mean, you're looking at that on the outside and you're going, hey, that's good. I like that.
Question is, are you sold?
Like I said, if I see this game plan, which, okay, at one point in the game, we had more yards after catch than Jimmy Garoppolo had through the air. Point being is, let the playmakers be playmakers. You have Debo, you have Brandon, you have Kendrick, you have George Kittle, you have plenty of individuals who can make plays. Quit putting the whole game on Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not 100%. Throw behind the line of scrimmage like they did, average maybe -3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but had tons of yards after the catch.
Right.
Let the talent do the talent's thing.
So here's the question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want them to play within themselves. If they do, I will buy all day long. But if I see another return to put the whole game plan on Jimmy Garoppolo because he's going back to New England for the first time, I'm going to be like, I'm selling 100%, and Kyle Shanahan needs to pack his crap.
The question that I have is, looking at Jimmy G and how he has been faring out with the injuries and things of that nature. Do you say that the 49ers may either sign a free agent quarterback next year as a backup, or will they go in the draft and see who's available to become a backup and possibly play the next Jimmy G story?
Right. I think that answer will be answered after tomorrow. I think if we go to Foxborough and we win, I think we continue the Jimmy G thing. They just kind of maybe look for a better backup, not necessarily a starter. They continue to run out his contract and let him be. I think if we lose this coming weekend, I think you're going to watch a lot of individuals get taken off this team. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is one of them. Let me think. They're going to let Coleman walk. They'll let him walk. They'll let Garoppolo. They'll probably just trade him. They'll get rid of his contract.
This is the last week, right, for the trade deadline?
Yeah, no, I'm talking the offseason.
No, next week.
Next week. Gotcha.
So, I mean, if anything, if we lose this week, you're just going to see him probably just go through the motions. We'll get to the offseason. I think the 49ers will find a way to get Jimmy Garoppolo out of there. We'll let Coleman walk. We'll let a bunch of other individuals walk on their contracts that we're not going to want to bring back. And it'll clear up a lot. You need about roughly $40 million to sign a top tier quarterback now.
Yeah.
We'll have about that. Once you let Jimmy and Coleman and all these other individuals go, they'll be up there right in the top to try to get some of those, free agent quarterbacks. I think it's funny you bring this up because it kind of led me to one of my rants we'll have in the Let's Be Honest moment. But so everyone gives Jimmy, a hard time. Obviously, they didn't win the Super Bowl. That's why I think they give him the biggest hard time. But you think about, spending money. If the 49ers or the Cowboys would have spent money on Dak Prescott, I think you put Dak Prescott in this offense, and I think the 49ers easily get that Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Again, you talk about quarterback play at a high level. Dak has never been given the opportunity to truly prove it in the playoffs with a structured team. You put him, again, you're going to pay money for this kid next year. I think Dallas has missed the opportunity, isn't going to pay the money. So why not? Why don't the 49ers just get rid of the whole project, blow it up, and then bring Dak in?
Pretty sure they're going to franchise tag him. But, I do got to say something else, looking back into – I like CJ's thought also. I think you got to see a little more of what you have in Jimmy. If Jimmy starts playing well and you have an opportunity to get a good quarterback in the draft, take it, sit him behind Jimmy, and say, this is what's up.
Yep, let him learn.
My question about that game is, Donald played well. He didn't get the job done, didn't get where he needed to be exactly 100%, but where's his help? Same thing with Ramsey. Ramsey's playing well. Where's his help? These guys going to get any help, or is it just going to be the Donald Ramsey show and no one else is going to show up and take care of business?
Right. I mean, but I guess then again, I ask you, was it that they didn't show up, or was it that the talent on the 49ers side was actually there? That was the first week that they had practiced all together as an offense with no injuries. And you could see cohesion. And it's funny because you look back at a lot of this tape, and people were like, "Oh, Aaron Donald was being doubled, he was being shifted." It's actually not true. There was a lot of times where he was in one-on-one matchups and not getting around the guy who was in the one-on-one matchup with him. So, yes, scheme was there, but I feel like the team actually field energized. I don't know why it took them 7 weeks to realize that there was an NFL season going on, but that was the team I expected to see week 1, 2, possibly 3.
Yeah, it's definitely something interesting. I think you got to look at the Goff on the offensive side too. That offense kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's like a hot cold thing. I feel like it's going, but it's like sputtering at times. You don't really know what you're going to get at times when it comes to everything, which, a lot of people wanted to say that about, Ryan Tannehill, the Tennessee Titans. You don't really know what you're going to get with the guy, but looking pretty darn hot to me in Tennessee with Derrick Henry and company. Stayed hot last week, took care of business and went to overtime, whatever, but Tannehill led the game-tying touchdown to force it to overtime. It was all his throwing. You didn't have time to really run, really. He made the throws, looked great, took care of business. Obviously, they got a huge game tomorrow with against Pittsburgh. We'll probably talk about that, no doubt, next week. But let's stay in the moment here and now. What is it? What was it? I think we need to give Ryan Tannehill some credit. The dude's stats are up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Jimmy G story. Maybe Tannehill has all the numbers playing well, but doesn't get the respect because his name's Ryan Tannehill and Adam Gase used to be his coach in Miami. It's like
honestly, I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just simply Ryan Tannehill has exactly what he needed in Miami at the time. He needed a reliable running back to help him out. We see Ryan Tannehill only throwing 19, 20, 25, maybe even 30.
Which is too much. He needs 25 and under.
Exactly. But, most of the game so far has been, under 25, mostly?
Pretty much.
and that's a game winner. You
Yeah.
know, Derrick Henry, 200 yards. Listen, I don't know if anybody else is going to say it, but I think right now he is the best running back in the league.
No
He is
doubt.
the best running back in the league. That is without a doubt. I'm not sure if anybody else who would want to disagree with me, but right now he is the best pure running back right now. He can catch. He has that speed. He has the breakout speed. He has the body. The guy is 6 feet. The guy is 6 feet. He's a 6 foot. He's huge. I think what 240 if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
230, 240.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big body,
Yep.
but he has a lot of speed. It's like a freight train,
Yep.
when you coming his way. And he reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch in the Seattle days, in his early Seattle days, and this guy got it. The Titans is hot. Their defense is firing all cylinders. Their offense is firing all cylinders. That offensive line, man, let me tell you, let me tell you.
I'm pretty sure they took a hit. I'm gonna double check here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember Taylor Lewan went down last week, and he was holding his right knee, and they were believing it was a potential ACL tear,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be huge. I mean, that's one of the most important linemen in my mind on that front. I mean, he really
Yeah.
holds them down, takes care of business, and keeps Ryan Tannehill's backside taken care of.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that would be a huge blow. But yeah, I mean the line, like you said, for the most part, they've been great. It's been interesting to see coming out of the gate here. Obviously, it's been kind of a weird year with COVID, but it's been interesting to watch the teams who made the playoffs last year. Some people are like, oh, they won't be back, and obviously it's still early, yes, but you're seeing a lot of those teams kind of jump out of the gate and kind of look the dominant, physical team that you want to see. Tennessee, Baltimore, obviously explosive, big play offense, Kansas City. You're seeing those teams kind of come back again and be like, hey, we're still here. At times, when San Francisco wants to play well and decides they want to show up, you see that too. You see
Yeah.
those teams show up, and when they do show up, and you're like, oh, hey, what's up?
So yeah, like these guys that they have, on their offensive line, Will Compton and Miss Kelly, Jack Conklin,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are just they're firing on cylinders, and not having Taylor Lewan, he is out for the season. He's out for the torn ACL. So it's going to be a very big challenge for Ryan Tannehill and that offensive line coming against this massive aggressive Steelers front seven.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think my opinion, the reason why the Titans are so good is because of Ryan Tannehill. People will say it's Derrick Henry is why they're so good. I'm gonna say top 5 quarterback, and I'll say it. I'll say it right here. You look at all his stats. Almost every single stat he has is in the top 10. Most of the top 3, top 5. He has the same passer rating in the pocket that he does in play action situations. Normally, you're going to see a huge curve where in a play action situation, their passer rating is going to go through the roof.
Yep.
Not in this instance because this guy plays the same across the board. No matter what the situation is, he plays the same. Tannehill is underappreciated, underrated, does not get any credit. Past 2 seasons, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. No.
Look, I'm just gonna say it. Last year, I wasn't sold, but then first 3 games of this season, I was like, you know what? I'm sold.
He's for
I'm
real.
sold on the Tannehill train.
Yeah, I'm totally Tannehill hype train all day.
Yeah, exactly. Lewan did get a torn ACL. He's done for the season.
Yeah.
So that's going to be huge. But yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I mean, I was always huge on Ryan Tannehill in Miami. All the fans in Miami were like, "Oh, this dude's trash. This is toilet bowl Tannehill and all this and blah 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 blah." It's not the dude's fault when he can't even get on a three-step drop back. He's getting just drove into the ground.
Yep.
The dude was one of the most sacked players the first 5 years of his career. And if you look what happens when you give the dude time, he performs.
At an extremely high level.
So I've never really fought the guy when things went south in Miami. I was obviously, hopeful that he'd be able to return to form after his knee injuries and all that. And he looks great. I love watching the dude play, and I'm actually been watching him obviously in Tennessee. He's playing at a high level, and I'm actually hoping that they take care of business against Tennessee and he's able to continue to ride this train. I totally think it's possible, but again, this is a test. Physical versus physical. That's exactly what that game tomorrow is going to be all about. Can Derrick Henry run the ball in the trenches? And can Big Ben and Pittsburgh run to set up all the rest of that offense on both sides?
I think we're talking who's going to be the best team in the AFC. Well, obviously, everyone's going to say Kansas City, but I think we need to really start talking about Pittsburgh and Tennessee as legitimate shots to take care of business.
I agree, 100%, man. I got to ask a question too. Where does Houston go from here? Poor Watson over here getting plastered all the time. I don't think ever has time to really do anything. That line's giving up just ridiculous amounts of sacks. Even Tunzel's giving up sacks down there. I'm just like, wow, dude, this team's falling apart. Like, where do you go from here? You guys what are they, 1-5?
I believe so.
Like, dude, just totally falling apart. Do you keep trying to just grind at it and see how many wins you get, or what are you doing here?
I think it's time to fold the cards, man. Fold them. Just let the season fall apart. Obviously, they don't need a quarterback. I mean, they have a really good quarterback. I think Deshaun
Who's this?
is really good.
I mean, listen. Do you trade Will Fuller? Get picks and just focus on the draft and build your team all over again? Is this what you do? But Will Fuller is really not worth that many picks, if you ask me. He's worth a solid third round, second round for whoever's really desperate for Will Fuller. And when I say desperate, that is pretty much with a capital D. Desperate.
What? Like, are you? They really didn't keep giving away Watson's weapons. Like, you gave away Hopkins. I get you couldn't pay the dude because his contract was ridiculous. But at the same time,
what if
keep shipping dudes out? Like, what are you gonna do? Or are you really gonna just waste this dude's talent?
I think the mistake was putting David Johnson back there to tote the rock. Not saying that David Johnson can't tote the rock, but at his age and his injury resume, it wasn't a smart move. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of people, was looking at that trade like, what's going on? What is the catch here?
Right.
What is the actual catch here? Not honestly, and I think Bill O'Brien, didn't want DeAndre Hopkins there no more, so they just took the bottom of the barrel. And for me, the way I feel about that is because that it's not the only time that has actually happened,
Right.
But I think there should be some point where the NFL has to interject in that point because, I mean, in a way where you can't just like ship guys out for like the lowest quality, stuff like that. It looks fishy.
Right.
It definitely
Yeah.
looked fishy.
That's like
That DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson trade looked hella fishy.
terrible. It was terrible. Everyone was like, "What? What just happened?" Like,
Yeah.
going back to the Gates days in Miami. Like, I knew we were going to trade Jarvis Landry because Adam Gates didn't like Jarvis Landry, but I believe we only got like a fourth round draft pick for the kid.
Yeah, it was crazy. I would
I'm
easily
like,
Would have
Dude,
easily given a top third rounder for Jarvis Landry at the
dude,
time.
see the dude, and now the dude's even better. Like
Yeah.
oh man, the route tree that Jarvis has in his hands is just glorious. Love watching it. Wish he'd come back to Miami, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I guess we'll see what's going to happen in Houston. I'm hoping that they take care of business and give Watson a shot. The kid's way too talented to continue to waste his talent. Speaking of wasted talent, hopefully no longer. Bears, Foles, streaking. What is going on? I thought Trubisky was the answer.
I mean, listen. I just don't think the Bears have enough weapons there yet. I don't think they have the weapons there. I think David Montgomery still injured, or is that Tariq Cohen?
I think Cohen is, yeah.
Yeah. Not having Tariq Cohen there, is a major hit to their offensive game plan. David Montgomery, he's not a 20 attempt guy. I don't care what anybody says. I never seen David Montgomery to be the guy who just took the rock all the time. He doesn't have the stamina. He gets gassed out quick, and that's when you need Tariq Cohen, to come in and pick up the slack. And they don't have that, which is the result of this. The offensive line is spotty, inconsistent. You never know what offensive line they're going to get coming out. They look good in 1 week, and Nick Foles looked like the Super Bowl quarterback that Nick Foles is. And then the next week, it just looks like Jacksonville Nick Foles. And, at this point, I wouldn't say bench Foles yet, but I think something has to happen between that offensive line. Or, listen, you trade for another running back and get this guy some weapons, get some wide receivers, something has to happen. Their defense has to be better. Khalil Mack can be the only guy that's giving it his all.
Right. I think, honestly, when you look at this defense, they're actually a top 10 defense in terms of stats, which is pretty crazy. They got 15 sacks and 5 picks through 6 weeks, which isn't too bad. But they're first in red zone efficiency at 36.4% allowed.
Exactly.
Which is pretty damn solid. Second and third down conversions, almost 32%, 31.8. Sixth in passing yards per play at 5.7. And they're seventh in points and total yards with a little under 20 points per game, 19.3, and basically 337 yards per game allowed. I think the defense is doing all they can. I think it definitely goes into what you're saying about Nick Foles needing to continue to get more, give him a weapon or something. That offense was produced more if this defense is going to continue to be a top 10 defense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people misjudge this team. You have Allen Robinson. That guy is a number one receiver.
Definitely.
You have Jimmy Graham, who decided he wanted to play football and he wants to catch footballs in the end zone. There's playmakers. If Cohen can decide he wants to show up, a good mix of Montgomery and Cohen is what the Bears need. They both play well off of each other. The offensive line is trash. It has been trash, even when Long was there. But with Long retiring, it just became more trash.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we've only had 2 minutes besides when he came in the Falcons game and came back and yada yada, three touchdowns. I'm taking that out because he didn't start.
Right.
Since Nick Foles has started, he's had 2 minutes of good quarterback play, and it just happened to win the Thursday night game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'll say it time and time again, Nick Foles is junk. He's streaky as the dirty pair of underwear in the bottom of the laundry basket. And that is at best. He is nothing but – and Chicago is just stupid. Stupid. You're letting Mitchell Trubisky just sit there and learn nothing. Nothing.
Maybe he has learned. Maybe he's learned to not use his legs all the time. and actually throw the ball.
If he would use his legs, they'd be more successful. You mean you look at him?
Well, look at Daniel Jones.
Exactly. As long as he needs to work on his, what is he? Probably needs to do some squats and toughen up those thigh muscles because man, those feet were heavy in that long run and got a little heavy and he tripped. So I think Daniel Jones just needs to get in the locker or the bench room and get in there in the weight room, do some workouts. But
Right.
yeah, overall, I think the guys who trust their legs and play at a high level because of that. Trubisky takes the Bears to the 12-4 year. They lose, obviously, a horrible field goal kicker, double doink, horrible. But that was because Mitchell Trubisky used his legs. He was comfortable doing that. You look at the next couple seasons, horrible offensive line play. It gets him creamed almost every time that kid drops back. He's not thinking about the process of what he should be doing to get this Bears team as a success. Then you have the weight of an angry Chicago fan base coming down on you saying you need to be benched or you need to be traded. And there's just so much outside noise that the Bears front office and head coaching staff hasn't stopped from getting to those players. And unfortunately, I feel like they've folded on their own. I mean, the fact that they went out and spent money on Nick Foles, I thought was a complete joke. Right when I heard, the Bears signed him, I was like, wow, what a waste of money. I'm sorry, what a waste of money. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, they're 5-1. Well, he hasn't started every single game, and they still had a winning record when Mitchell Trubisky was taken out. So I'm not sold on Nick Foles whatsoever. And unfortunately, you're looking at a team that's just like that when they lost in the Super Bowl, I believe it was in 2006. You're looking right now at a defense that's carrying an offense that has no quarterback. And the better quarterback's on the bench. Same situation.
Sounds like you're being pretty honest there, Speaking of, let's be honest.
Let's be.
I think you got some pretty interesting things to say, So what do you got for us?
Well, I think everyone needs to realize that Dak and Ryan are for real. And you're going to watch it. No.
Wait. For the average fan, Ryan who?
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, you boy.
Both of them are for real. You take him off of the Titans. The Titans they'll make it to the playoff as a maybe 500 team. He's the reason why they play the level they do. I'm on the Ryan Tannehill hype train, just like I said earlier tonight. I will keep on that hype train. I think he's one of the best top 3, top 5 quarterback in the league. Hands down. Dak Prescott. Guess what? He's also in the same room. Top 5, top 3 quarterback. Let's watch it. The reason why they got the victories in the first part of the season, because Dak was there. Dak is not there. I think the Dallas Cowboys struggle to get another win at all this year. Yeah, you got playmakers all over the field, but you got a quarterback who can't figure out how to get him the ball. That's your problem. Again, kind of like the Bears right now. You got these playmakers running all over the field. What's going on with this offense? Your quarterback sucks. That's the problem. Let's be honest. You're missing Dak. You guys didn't pay him. I hope he ships out and just looks at you, Dallas, and say, you missed out. Go win a championship somewhere else and make those Cowboy fans feel it because their front office is stupid. The Titans were smart. They kept Tannehill around. They're a bright future in Tennessee. You keep him there. You keep him protected. Tennessee's going to be fine. They did what no one wants to say. And the reason why people don't like Ryan Tannehill, it's like that bad cologne. And it was called Adam Gase. And he still smells like it for some reason because that guy stinks so bad.
It sucks.
And that's the problem why no one in America wants to be like, Ryan Tannehill is good. Because everyone's like, oh, Adam Gase had him and he was junk in Miami. No, be quiet. Hogwash. Ryan Tannehill.
He wasn't really that bad in Miami either.
No, he wasn't.
If you look at the games that he played well, oh boy, like the throws the dude could make. I remember there was a throw to Kenny Stills that he made in the back of the end zone that according to, I believe, Pro Football Focus, I believe it was, or one of the ESPN metrics that they had for like sports science. Literally gave it like a 5% completion chance, and he made it just perfect. Dropped it right in Kenny Still's hands in stride as he toe touched the back of the end zone.
Yep.
It was
I think it was AWS, I think it was, that does those statistics. And yeah, and look, he's doing it now. It's the same guy. I was high on him when the Dolphins drafted him. I said, this kid's going to be good. Just needs the opportunity. He has his opportunity, unfortunately, for Miami fans. It didn't happen down there. You guys have Tua now. It's time to keep going. We'll talk to that. But it's just Ryan Tannehill's time. Let's give him some recognition. And Dak, I hope you get paid. Go out there, find a good team, and get yourself some dubs.
I am totally in on it too. I'm tired of the cologne smell too. I think the dude's taken enough showers and bathed in enough victory as the Titans quarterback to be able to get rid of the stench.
Yep.
I mean, the dude's coming out here and has numbers similar to what everyone wants to call the best quarterback in football, Patrick Mahomes. But you don't want to give the respect to Ryan Tannehill because it's Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, that's some logic right there, guys. I love it. I'm in on it. Not.
No.
Jeez. Get with it, guys. So, again, let's be honest. Ryan Tannehill, Dak Prescott, top 10, top 5 quarterback.
Easily.
Hey, guess what? Go look at the stats right now. And unless something significantly changed, Dak Prescott's still the leader in passing yards.
Right, he has a broken ankle.
I'd say the dude knows how to play the position pretty damn well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, if Dallas decides to pay him, Dak go take care of business. Hopefully Dallas decides to, I don't know, get over the curse or whatever the hell's going on down there, and the kid can actually play well.
Right. Well, it's interesting. Right after the injury happens, you have Jerry Jones saying, "Oh, this kid's worth whatever we can put on paper." You had it on paper, and you didn't sign it.
And they're already coming out and saying that they're going to potentially be franchise tagging him again.
What a slap in the face.
Yep.
I mean, you're basically paying him NFL minimum wage. I mean, obviously that's a pretty high minimum wage, but NFL minimum wage for a guy who is well above average, by far above average, when it comes to the quarterback position.
It's true. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. It's all been a slap in the face. It's been pretty sad, but like I said, at the same time, I hope he's able to come back, play at a high level, and I hope Ryan Tannehill continues the voyage to success, and continues to tread up and continues to prove the critics that he can be the guy that he was drafted to be originally in Miami, who he's being for in Tennessee.
Agreed.
So, as our good buddy rejoins us here, let's get back into some interesting matchups from last week. And Kansas City taking care of business against Buffalo, avoiding losing 2 straight there. Josh Allen looked awful, and Patrick Mahomes good because the defense for the Bills didn't want to go up.
Right. I don't know. Josh Allen I don't know if it was Allen or if it was the whole team. The Buffalo Bills just come out and played just horrible. And then they wanted to wait. They wanted to wait until like 5 minutes left in the game, and they're like, "Hey, let's score some points."
Yeah.
It was garbage. Kansas City took care of business. You can't fault them for anything. They go out there and they do what Andy Reid has never done in his 20-plus coaching year career, and they rush the ball for what? They rush the ball.
Yeah.
Am I talking about Andy Reid? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sold on it. It's not going to happen again. People in Kansas City think, "Oh, we have Le'Veon Bell. We're going to rush all the time." No, you're not.
Yeah, they really got Clyde Edwards-Helaire involved in that win. But this goes back to me saying, and Zach, we just spoke about this on the Bills and their success this season so far. I hate to say that it's because of this, but I mean, you've seen their schedule in the beginning. You've seen how it has matched up and everything. This comes the time where you ask yourself, hey, when these competitive teams step up, are you really the team that everybody is so hype about right now? And it wasn't the Bills who lost these games. It was Josh Allen. It was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And
So do you
I
think?
was.
Do you feel he's hit his ceiling? Maybe. Do you feel like he's in his learning curve again?
I think right now, I think this is a learning curve. I think that right now this is a learning curve. It says, hey, there are things that you need to improve on,
Right.
and there are things where you just have to be better at. And I think Josh Allen will take this as a learning curve. These last two games as a learning curve, man. It's like because regardless of where you guys are at right now, and as far as 4-1 or 4-0, you aren't as good until you play the teams that needs to be beaten, and you haven't done that.
Right.
Right.
You haven't done that, and now the question will remains there is: are you really as good as everybody say you are?
Right.
And Josh Allen, I'm sorry, no, not at all.
Yeah. I think that's they're not playing to the level that they kind of put out there that to everyone that they were trying to play at. I agree with you there. I don't think I don't know. I'm gonna have to see some stuff. I'm gonna have to see some consistent play out of some good teams that they have some good teams coming up on their list. So I think it'll be interesting to see. I really do. Yeah, they played the Rams, but I'm not even so. I don't think the Rams are that good. You look at their victories, and they were all against. I mean, nothing against the Washington football team fan in here, but you're talking about one of the worst divisions in the NFL right now, and the
Yeah,
Rams beat them. Beat the NFC East. So I think the biggest issue is what do the Bills? What do they want to prove at this point? What do they feel they have to get their identity? Do they have weapons in the wide receiver position? They have the people to take care of business. And now it's just going to be who do they want everyone to know? Oh, that's the Bills team. They're going to come out and fail at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this Bills team. They're not looking solid. They're not looking physical. They're losing track of assignments. I've I've thought personally for a while Josh Norman's overrated, and here he is being overrated in Buffalo. There's all sorts of issues with this team where they expecting good results, and they're starting to see the results that they're actually going to get.
Yep.
So
Right.
let's see with that. Kansas City obviously is Kansas City. The difference, like you said, Albatross is they're in the ball with Edwards-Helaire a lot. The dude hit
hmm
this early. They didn't like. They just didn't go away from it. Took the hot hand and were like, "Shoo, gone."
Yep.
Right.
I don't blame them. I really don't. But we'll see if they can do it with Bell. You're going to get Le'Veon Bell in here. You're going to get him added into the mix. Can you take care of the game?
Well, I like Kansas City. They're the reigning Super Bowl champs, but for me, they're just a little too inconsistent for me. You know, I've trust me. It took me a while to say that because I've always been a Patrick Mahomes fan. I've always been the Andy Reid fan. But when these last 3 weeks that they've played, it's been very inconsistent. It's been very inconsistent.
Right.
As far as Patrick Mahomes, his stats. When you look at his stats and you see that he only has one touchdown and only 200 yards or maybe like 180. And they got the win. It's just one of those things that you look at and say, what exactly did you really do? And A win is a win at the end of the day, but he's just been so inconsistent for me, and now it starts to question me a little bit because the AFC is high powered right now. With the teams that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the Titans and the Steelers are now on a comeback. On a comeback year after losing so many guys last year, and people saying, "Oh, is the Steelers really that Super Bowl dynasty team?" And Mike Tomlin said, "Hey, look, we're here.
Yeah.
Don't count us out yet."
No.
Then you have the Ravens. It's just right now the AFC is just
Back.
looking better. The AFC is definitely back. Exactly. The
Yeah.
AFC is back, and they've been overshadowed for a while with the NFC. So right now it's Kansas City. You can't keep coming by just by the skin of your teeth.
I think. I mean, that's a good point. I think you look at their loss. It was against the Las Vegas Raiders, who that's
Who has a
another
high
team.
power Derek Carr, man?
Right, but I mean, it's so inconsistent with them. They come out one week and they'll beat the Chiefs, then they'll come out the next week and they just lay an egg, and it's like, what do who knows what you're going to get from the Raiders? But I feel like the Chiefs are just kind of they're going to have to be careful not to lull themselves into this rockabye because they have an easy schedule. It's not like they're going to have a ton of challenges coming forward.
Right.
They're going to have this almost moment of impact when they have to jump into the AFC playoffs and play like you said, some of these high powered teams. If Kansas City goes in here and thinks they're just going to walk all over a Steelers team who's just playing all phases, playing solid, it's not going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how they flip that switch, and get back to what everyone expects from Kansas City, and that's a lot of yards through the air, high-powered, blow up the scoreboard, and see if you can catch me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm pretty much in the same boat there. I think that Kansas City has a pretty simple schedule moving forward. It'll be interesting to see how they fare moving forward, but at the same time, I do think that they're going to face some interesting defenses, and they'll have maybe some surprises. I think there might be some surprises in store.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what's going on, and definitely keep track of that. Obviously, Mahomes is still playing at a high level, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Speaking of see and how it's going, you got our terrible Tom shining bright at home, but he can't play on the road. I don't know what it is, but this team cannot play on the road. They are absolutely god awful on the road. They'll play just fine, beat good teams at home.
Yeah. But again, are the Packers a good team? Question mark. I'm not sure. Maybe.
I think they are.
I don't know. I think it's a shade of their former self. I think you saw. I think one of the best defenses in the NFC resides in Tampa Bay. That defense is on point. Secondary plays well. They get a pass rush. Their linebackers play fast. They play downhill. That defense is just scary. They're good. They're really, really good. I think they went out there and they proved that Aaron Rodgers carries some guys a lot. I think their offense has changed a little bit, but I don't think they've really had a test until this point. This was the first real complete football team that the Packers have faced. So I think we're going to see – I think the question marks are going to rise for the Packers. Yes, they don't really have a whole lot of challenges coming out of the NFC North, but I don't think the Packers are a top-tier team, in my opinion, in the NFC. I think there's a lot better teams than the Packers.
I think they were exposed. I do. I totally think they were exposed. Ronald Jones had a good game.
Yeah.
He's had a couple good games. Dude's been pretty well.
One thing that, they did get exposed. And it was one thing, and it was that they don't have an established wide receiver core. Aaron Jones got shut down, and that was it. That was it. Hang it up. you know, and it's just one of the look. We deal with it here in Washington. That running game doesn't produce. It just is nothing's
Falls
going to
flat.
happen. You know, so Aaron Jones got shut down, and they tried to throw it in the air, and it just wasn't working. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers was doing. He didn't look like Aaron Rodgers.
That
He didn't look
team.
like
I
Aaron
mean, think about
Rodgers.
it. You look at that game. That looked like what happened to them in the NFC Championship game. Aaron had those same faces. I mean, you hit him, and this is the part that I've always been hard on Aaron Rodgers about. You hit Aaron Rodgers, and he falls apart. He does not like to be hit. He will not stand there. He'll start yelling at his other players. He'll make other people feel it that, oh, I'm getting hit. That's all you got to do to that team. You get him flustered, and that team's no good.
I agree.
Yeah, it's. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if they can bounce back and take care of business. I was kind of on the ups with Rodgers and them. He hadn't turned the ball over, and then he throws pick six and throws another interception, and the team just fell apart. It was gross. I'm like, wow, dude, way to really have the wheels fall off the wagon. Like,
oh, they fell off. The cart hit the ground, crashed and burned.
Speaking of crashing and burning, the poor Jets, the poor Jets.
I mean, you can't crash and burn if you're already crashed and burned.
I don't even think they should be called the New York.
I think they were hopping. I think it was.
They should be called the New York prop planes because it's not a jet. It's not a jet. They're not JETTSS or whatever. It's not happening anymore. They need a clean house. They need to just close it up, shut the airport down. The Jets have COVID. No, I don't know. Who knows? It's just not there. They need to change everything. The locker room is falling apart. This isn't a football team. The Dolphins went out there and did exactly what I had made the comment the week before. I said, if the Dolphins don't go out here and shut up the Jets, then it's going to be like, what the hell?
I mean, I didn't know they were talking at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were talking at all.
Right.
But listen, are we talking about the Dolphins right now? Or are we talking about the Jets?
I mean, either or, it don't matter.
Yeah. There's an elephant in the room. And
which one?
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Okay, that's the reason why I asked.
So my question to you. So real quick before we get to that elephant in the room,
Adam Gase needs to go.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Like, how does this dude still have a job?
Yeah. I'm sorry. It boggles my mind to see that.
I don't understand.
Dan Quinn gets fired before Adam Gase. Bill O'Brien gets fired before Adam Gase. And Adam Gase is just still chilling there in New Jersey. Just like, okay, I done made it another week.
That they can't get a new guy this season, and they can't get a new guy until next season.
You can get the offensive coordinator. Get the special teams coach.
They're just going to let this team tank 100%.
No.
Because last week of the season, boom, new guys come in. You get Trevor Lawrence, everything's okay.
This is what I didn't understand.
I mean, I don't like it, but
this is what I didn't understand. As bad as the team that you are, and obviously, I think Adam Gase is just done with the season.
Yeah.
And that trade with McClendon just did it for me. You trade one of your best linemen.
Sure.
Right.
You trade one of your best linemen.
True.
To who did you trade him to? The team that actually needs him. And it's just like you did it with Le'Veon Bell. You could have traded Le'Veon Bell. Why didn't you trade him?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's Adam Gase. That's why Adam Gase does stupid things. Like, you couldn't have worked out a deal where you guys split the remaining deal on Le'Veon, contract. get a
Yeah, I just
draft
don't
pick
see it.
for him, something. You're just like,
And
oh, we're releasing him.
I
What?
pray and hope. I pray and hope that Trey Lance and Trey Lawrence doesn't have to be stuck with the Gates project. I just hope so.
I'm
I,
hoping, like I
I
said,
hope I
hope
hope
they
Gase
can
is
really think.
fired before then. But if not, I hope that they are not in that situation.
I don't think Adam Gase is going to lose his job until like Condor said. It's going to be probably towards the end of the season. Then they'll start to implode it. They want to make sure that they have. I think they want to leave the worst case scenario in there. Lose all the games. We know we lose with Adam Gase, so let's just
Yeah,
keep it that way.
exactly. You don't want to win if you're trying to get Trevor Lawrence, so keep
Right.
your trash going.
Right. Nothing's broke, so don't fix it. Or is it broke? I'm not sure. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I think
I just I
let it rot.
definitely understand that. It's
Yep.
just now you have to look at it. Are the players just tired now?
Right. So,
And that's more of the concern that I have is that the players is just eventually is just going to be like, you know what,
I'm done.
trade me.
I think it's totally a Jets thing, too, because if you look at Robbie Anderson, he's over here, top 3, I think, in the league in receiving yards this season, maybe top 4.
They done lost their top 5 everything
Yeah, he's balling out. So we'll see.
in the span of a whole year.
So then, let's transition over to Miami here. They did shut out the Jets for the first time since the '82 season, which was pretty awesome. Howard's over here, 4th straight games with an interception, tied for league lead. We also, as this defense continues to improve, they have 17 sacks, 5 interceptions total. Ogbuz continues to make an impact on the defense for us when we need it. He has 5 sacks this season. Kind of interesting. I could totally see him getting to 10, honestly. If the dude plays the rest of the season, I could see him having a 10-sack season. I don't think it's far-fetched. And going into this year, everyone's like, oh, Miami won't have a 10-sack guy. If Ogbah turns into a 10-sack guy and we can, maybe get another,
We'll never hear the end of it.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, Fitz playing well, has another great game, takes care of the ball, and finds out a day or two later that he is not the starter anymore. Now, I got a couple things on it. I'm going to expand more on it here at the end of the show, but I don't think it was done correctly, and I say that
No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was Flores and company who did the wrong situation. I think someone internally got their feelings hurt about Fitz getting ready to be benched and leaked it. And that is an attempt to create controversy in this new regime in the front office that is Miami. This is why I say this. You do not announce the starting quarterback of your team 2 weeks before you play a team. We're not playing this week. We have a bye week. So you're going to tell the Rams that we play in 2 weeks that Tua is the starter on our bye week? No. And then for Flores to say that he didn't even have a chance to address the team and say, hey, Fitz, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. It happened pretty much behind his back. Like, that's all kind of.
There's rotten dolphin meat somewhere in that tank.
So
something's going on.
So the question is, like, despite maybe it is internal, somebody leaked it because they got in their feelings. But the question is, when exactly were they going to tell Fitz? Are they going to wait until like the Wednesday before the actual game, or what? And the whole point is, why bench him? You obviously said he's playing well.
Here's my thing.
He's playing well,
You can't.
and honestly, as whatever somebody's seen in two of those 2 plays or 3 plays or whatever. Listen, this kid just got off of major surgery.
I agree.
A major injury. And not only that, you put him against one of the leading sack leaders in the NFL,
Yep.
Possible. I mean,
With
argue. Probably best defensive player in the NFL.
yeah, not alone the status of your offensive line. Not saying that they're bad, but they're not good. They're not great, and it's bad. It's bad. And I actually feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And somebody came out to me and said, "Well, this is the same situation with Dwayne Haskins." It was like, no, it's not.
Not
It's
even.
not. It's a
Not even
completely different
close.
situation. Ryan
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick is an established quarterback in the NFL. Dwayne
Yep.
Haskins isn't. It's
Right.
difference.
Yep.
It ain't like we've been winning games. They're 5-1, right?
Right.
I'm not mistaken. You guys are 5-1.
No.
No,
You
3-3.
know,
3-3.
Oh, 3-3. You guys are 3-3. You guys are what? 1-2. The first 3 games was 1-2.
Well, here, let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
The teams that we, I guess, should have beat based on that moment and week and playing not so good. The Jets, the Jaguars, obviously the beaten up, injury riddled 49ers when we played them. But then you look at the other 3 teams who were playing higher at the time. Now you got to question the Bills, but Bills, Patriots, and the Seahawks. We lost
But
by 3.
I was about to say that you guys fought. But
Yeah,
they lost though.
we were right within all of those games,
Yeah.
and that's before we started playing well here recently, getting, Byron and Xavier, playing together healthy on both, the back end of that defense. You see a huge difference with those 2 on the field. But at the same time, you couldn't let it go any farther. You could not do it. If you let Fitz continue to you can't win right now. It's not time to win right now. You're still evaluating the talent you have. You have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. You have to put Tua in to see if Tua's the guy to know what you're doing in this draft. If you
Not at the expense. And honestly, I'm not completely mad at the decision. I'm just mad at the time it's done, and there isn't a logical reason as why.
here's something too. It could be COVID related. How do we know this wasn't going to happen with our bye week being originally week 11? Our bye week got completely flipped to the front of the season, where it was at the back end of the season, where it would have
Right.
made sense to insert Tua. This could have all been flipped around, things of that such. But, I'm with you. I thought Fitz was playing well. I was excited to see where he was going to go forward. I was pushing for Tua to sit all season. But
Yeah, I mean, not even that. It's
here's something too. We got
yeah, and I get that part. Where, we got to see what this kid can do, but again, it's like they've led this man to believe that this season was his season.
Oh, I get it.
And then you turn around, even if he had to hear it through the media, even if Brian Flores just came up to him on the Wednesday before and was like, "Hey, listen, I gotta break it to you, man. We're gonna go with the kid. We're gonna go with the kid." I'm pretty sure that conversation was still very, very hard for Brian Flores to have with Ryan Fitzpatrick. But
Right.
it's in a quarterback's eyes where he's given it his all. Despite of the way his season turned out last year, he's given it his all. Trying to establish himself as an actual starting quarterback. And we all know that Ryan Fitzpatrick, that time, at your age, trying to become a starting quarterback, that ship has sailed. But he's just trying to establish himself. And at the time where, he's not really winning. And a lot of people say, oh, well, you played against a depleted 49ers team. How depleted were the 49ers really that game? I
No, that's
mean,
a 49ers fan.
Well, I mean, they had a guy. I mean, I hate using this guy's name because I feel bad for this guy now because, I mean, most 49ers fans have probably sent him death threats and everything on the blue sea under the sun, but we had Brian Allen, a practice squad guy who couldn't even guard Trent Taylor Trent Taylor's number 5 in the depth chart when it comes to 49ers receiving core. He couldn't even guard Trent. Trent made him look like a fool. So, we're putting guys, and it was a coaching thing. If Ahkello Witherspoon actually plays because he's not soft, I think you see a different situation. Jason Verrett has played at an elite level all year, has the best quarterback rating, it's in single digits, a 7.9% when being targeted. So Verrett's locking people down. But you put a guy, Brian Allen, with no safety help, and you say, go guard Parker and Preston Williams, who both have the ability to be a number one. I mean, Parker was drafted in the first round, but the 49ers at that point were not playing at all. The coaching staff set no plan up whatsoever.
Yeah.
They just did. If they would have done what the Patriots have done for the past 2 decades and put the best 11 players on the field, the 49ers don't get blown out. They just put guys that they had signed literally on Saturday to play Sunday. These guys had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, it's just you play with you are given with the cards that you've dealt with.
Yeah.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick right now is 3-3. Where his confidence is rising somewhat. And the moment his confidence is rising, he learns that he gets benched. What do you do? What do you do after that?
If I'm Fitz, I sit back, I comb my beard, I put my sunglasses on, I live in the Miami sun, I watch Tua take the reins, I make a paycheck. Instead of going out and staring the receivers down and throwing them the ball, he just makes the paycheck sitting on the sidelines. Let's just hope to whoever protects these guys that Tua doesn't get hit improperly. Because not just that injury at Alabama, he's had actually a history of injuries, period. So if he gets hit incorrectly, if that happens, I hope it doesn't. I'm high on Tua, was high. I sold him to the Dolphins fan named Condor because he wasn't high on him at all when the draft rolled around. So I like Tua. I think it's a great moment. It sucks. I'm not going to lie. It sucks for Fitzpatrick. But I think the magic is the Fitzmagic needs to stay at home with the 9 kids and have fun with your kids, Fitzpatrick, because it's Tua time in Miami.
Yeah, I just hope. I wish nothing but the best for the kid. Like I told a buddy of mine. Listen, I'm not saying that Tua shouldn't start. You got to do something at this point. And I just hope that things work out. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that things actually work out.
Right.
Because Tua, he's got a story. He's got a story within a story, and everybody wants to see this kid succeed. And right now he's been given the task of being put on the spotlight, and now comes a time where you see who is Tua.
Yep.
And what Tua are we gonna get?
Are
we gonna get Clemson versus Alabama Tua? Or are we gonna get the Tua that we all seen in the combine and in his career during Alabama? And honestly, I think I'm gonna say it. I think when he plays the Rams, I think he's gonna have 250 yards max, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 100 rushing yards with the rushing touchdown. So altogether, he's going to have 4 touchdowns in the game.
So see,
I don't know that they put him in a position to run. I think that's the dumbest thing that offensive coordinator could do. You do not put Tua in a position to run.
They will.
If it turns into a Kyler Murray.
They said the same thing with Kyler Murray. They said the same thing with Kyler Murray.
Okay, like Kyler Murray leaked out against the 49ers this year. It was uncalled runs. It was, hey, pass pressure is breaking down, or pass protection is breaking down. Here's my lane. Boom, there's 20 yards. Like, he got 100 yards rushing that way. If he does stuff like that, cool. but I don't want to see
Guarantee
him
you're
out
going to
there
see some
running
read
read
options.
options and stuff. I don't want to
Yeah,
see
you're going to see him.
Yeah, no, the read option's real. It's going to happen. You guys have
After seeing Daniel Jones rush for 50 yards in one
that.
game
It's true.
and 80 yards another game, the read option will come.
I hear you. I just, oh man, it's gonna be so sketchy. I'll be holding my breath. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. Like I said, it sucks for Fitz, but I mean, he said himself back in August, it was a matter of time. This dude came into this season not thinking it was going to be his whole year. Like he knew that this kid was coming. He said, "It's only a matter of time before this kid takes it. I'm a placeholder. That's how it's got to be. I'll be the kid's biggest fan and supporter and mentor when the time comes. He'll be ready." It's that time.
Right.
I get it. I think another thing is we as sports fans, analysts, everything, we weren't ready for an honest, heart to heart, how an athlete felt about losing his job. I don't think we're ready for that because no one's really done or said it like how he said it. I feel
Yeah.
good, man. The dude's giving his soul for this team. I love it, and I hope we honor him somehow for the last year and a half, 2 years, and maybe the next year he gives this team. He does
The average
this team.
the average starter or starting quarterback would have easily said, it's just the name of the game. And I just have to buy my time. But
Right.
no, Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, listen, I'm hurt, I've been led to believe that this team is my team, and this season is going to be my season. But then I learned that I'm being benched, and I'm not going to lie, it hurts. He said that this has anything to go against Tua and what and the amazing talent that he has. I'm just saying, as a starting quarterback, to hear that you're being benched after you didn't really see, anything very devastating to be benched, it
Right.
hurts, and I think that was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, there's been some instances where we thought, Ryan Fitzpatrick, but then, when you look at the season as a whole, you're like, you know what?
He's played well.
Ryan Fitzpatrick can actually do this thing. Let the Fitzmagic let the Fitzmagic go.
Right.
Bippity boppity boo. Let it roll.
Here's the like. I don't know. I think the magic has been foiled. I think it's time to get over it. The magic is not going to happen. Has he played well? Yes, he has. But Tua can throw these guys open. You're talking some of these plays, these Dolphins receivers, Gesicki, these guys out of the backfield, they get open. If they're getting thrown open, you're talking more touchdowns, more points. They have the ability to put up these points. So I think what the Dolphins front office head coach has seen, I think you have a team that's 3-3. You have a team that is competitive right now in the AFC East. You have a team who's competitive in the AFC. So I think you go with your guy who you said was your future. You hang up the phone every time Dallas calls because they realize they have a junk quarterback in Andy Dalton, and they're like, "We need Fitzpatrick." I think Brian Flores is like, "Hello, hang up. Hello, hang up." Do it every time. Keep Fitzpatrick as your backup. Tua gets hit, gets hurt. Any questions? You put Fitzmagic back in there. You get it rolling again. You make the people happy. You make him happy. I think you go with the winning. Right now, they are a year early, and they have a chance to be competitive. Are they going to win the Super Bowl? I'm not going to go that far. But are they going to be competitive? I think they are. I think they're making the move to show that the Miami Dolphins are actually back to play football for the first time in
Well, let me say a couple things here before we transition. So, first of all, you're correct. When was the last time Miami was exciting? Well, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out here in about 8 days.
Yeah.
Then the Miami's going to be exciting again. And before I go, from there, I just want to say two things. First of all, we got to trust Brian Flores. I got to trust Brian Flores. I do trust Brian Flores.
He has my trust.
The dude knows what he's doing. He's made the right calls before. If he's making the call, he knows what he's doing. He sees this kid day in and day out. Again, do I agree with how it all happened? No, but I don't think it was Brian Flores is doing again. I don't think that he's that kind of guy. He's shown us from day one he's real and he'll be real with his people.
Yep.
So, I mean, for him to even say in the press conference, I'm mad about it. I apologize. I'm going to apologize to my team and get it set straight with them. Accountability. Love it. You addressed it. You're going to take care of it. Move on. That's what I like to see. You're not going to allow any more turmoil to go about it. You know, you're not going to try to walk around it, act like it didn't happen. I like it. Took it straight head on. Lastly, here, something interesting I heard. You were kind of talking about Tua throwing people open. Of the people in Miami, you know, you got Parker, Preston, you know, you got Jakeem Grant, Mike Gesicki, Isaiah Ford, people of that such. Of those guys, who do you think Tua makes better?
Parker.
Think so?
Yeah.
'Cause
Parker has a lot of what,
going.
you know, I think Parker has a lot of what Tua had in Alabama. And that's just, you know, for short hands and be able to get yards out the catch.
You know, something I think it was honestly only one throw, but I think Jakeem Grant's gonna gain from having Tua there. Tua, I don't think has a favorite. How Fitz had favorites. Fitz had guys that he knew he wanted to throw the ball to. He wanted to throw it to Gesicki. He wanted to throw it to Parker. He wanted to throw it to Preston, the big body guys. When you saw Tua come on the field in the little couple plays he did throw, when he converted the third down, he drops back, looks left, and throws right to his right where Jakeem Grant was. It was perfect right to him. It wasn't high, none of that stuff. Like, I think that's going to help Jakeem be able to get that ball, make a move, not jump up, grab it, get tackled, you know? Things like that. I think we'll see a difference like that. I do think Parker potentially, but I hope these guys take the time to work with Tua to be able to, you know, to start learning to catch that ball, considering it spins differently from a lefty.
So,
I was going to say Preston Williams, but I have to agree. I think Jakeem Grant makes the biggest impact now because of the simple fact that every time that kid catches the ball, I see him standing, break down, left, right, quick move to the right, quick move to the left, maybe 2-3 yards. And that's when Fitz was throwing in the ball. It was just tragic. Oh, I mean magic. I don't know. But either way, I think he makes a difference. You're watching this kid now get to use his track speed. He's going to get in the moment. You're going to see a couple big plays, I think, from Jakeem Grant. But I think Preston Williams is also there. I think he's going to be using his speed. He's a big body guy who's fast. You get him in those positions where he can grab it and run. If he just slows down, I think Preston Williams is going to put up a big battle for who's the number one.
Our other fun Trust take over here. I made him go ahead and think up what we're going to talk about this week in Fact or Fiction.
All right. So we're going to go Fact or Fiction. We're going to go Hot Topic. Browns. Are they? What are they? Are they real or pretender or contender? Fact or Fiction?
I'm going to say pretender. Baker Mayfield still shows you he can't read a defense. You get pressure to him. He crumbles under pressure. Can't make the reads properly. OBJ's unhappy when they lose. Nothing new. Next. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, he took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I
listen, this shows, without having, I like Kareem Hunt, but without having Chubb there, that running game is deplorable.
Yeah.
You need Chubb to get Kareem going. You need Kareem to get Chubb going, and that's just how that company works right there. That two tandem right there. That's just how it works. Yeah. Baker Mayfield, he relies on that running game. Without that running game, you're nothing.
Yeah.
You're shit of nothing. And um, OBJ is really getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated because he wants the same game. He wants the same type of game every week, like he had in Dallas. And
Does Miami trade for OBJ? Compare with Tua?
do you do that? That means you overshadow the guys that has been winning. And who's been fighting so hard to get to the top spot. With the wide receivers that Miami has. Honestly, I didn't. If you must, sure, but I don't think that's where you guys would need to go right now. I mean, you guys have the guys now. If you guys need a big body, draft one.
I don't think we need a big body. I think honestly we need a running back, but it's just something interesting to talk about.
Yeah. So we kind of hit on this earlier. Do Rodgers and them? Do they really pack a punch, or is it shadow boxing, fact or fiction?
Shadowboxing.
Ah,
Shadowboxing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Next.
next. What do you got, Condor?
Next.
Next. Okay. Here's the other one. I mean, this is gonna be a reach, but we're gonna go Falcon soaring, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction.
I'm gonna go out and say it. Listen,
I'm gonna say fact. I'm gonna
I
say
like no.
I'm
sorry.
wait. Here we go. Here we go.
There we go. Nope.
So fact,
Listen,
and I'm not saying they're gonna go make a playoff run and all this, but I said they're gonna be a team that's gonna be in games for the rest of the year because you got Dan Quinn out of there, you got the poison out, you're letting the men play, they're taking care of business. They closed the game last week. They closed a game last week.
They played all 4 quarters. 1, 2,
It
3,
was
4.
nuts. They've showed us they can play. They've showed us they can put points up. They just have issues closing. I think that was a Dan Quinn issue. Again, like we said about a certain coordinator earlier, not a good head coach. Good coordinator, not head coach.
Yeah.
you ready for this, right?
Go ahead.
Who do they play? My point exactly. Listen, listen.
But again, it's not that they play a tough schedule. They're already, they were already a dumpster team. The dumpster was on fire. They found an extinguisher and they put it out. So I think they finally,
They got the
But they
lights
played
going.
they played the Vikings.
right.
And despite what the Vikings have with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, let's just be real. They don't have the juice at all.
No.
So I applaud Raheem Morris getting his first win as the head coach. As his first win. In the next week, that he was hired for the job. Congratulations. But I'm not sold yet.
No.
I'm not sold yet. Who's their next opponent?
Let me see.
I don't again. I'm not gonna. This is a pass-fail business. As a 49er fan, I'm coming into the year. I'm thinking, man, we're gonna come out. We're gonna style out. We're gonna come out with some swag. We're playing good. No, we look like we stubbed our toe and shot ourselves in the foot with a nail gun. It was horrible.
But see, you guys were dealing with injuries. They just lost Julio Jones, which is not really like a bad thing considering
Detroit
they. Yeah,
So
but
Detroit.
then
again,
they got Detroit.
They should win this. They should win this.
Should they?
They should. They should.
If they're soaring, they should.
Listen. I've been saying it all season. Despite what you think about the Lions and what they have, Kenny Golladay is the man right now.
Oh yeah,
he's the man right now. And Matt Stafford, he's looking like a very young Matt Stafford. He never lost a step. He's been broken. He's been bruised. He's been knocked down multiple times with sacks. But guess what? He still puts yards on that board. And the running back team, man, I called it. Once they signed AP, I called it right off the
Brought it
bat.
together.
That brought it together right there.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift is looking great. Not great, good. You
Yep.
know, DeAndre Swift is looking good. You know,
Yep.
it just got to be consistent.
Right.
It got to be consistent. And what's going to happen is the Lions is going to come in Atlanta, and they're going to say, "Hey guys, the Vikings is not the only one in this division. You're not going to beat up on us. We're going to run the ball down your throat because they suck on the run."
No, they do. They do. No. I'm going to go with the Falcons just because I think again they're going to come out and play hard for Raheem Morris. I think he has those guys energized. He seems like he's leading them well. I'm not going to say he's. Yeah. I think they're soaring right now. Is it going to do anything? No, but I do think they're playing well right now under the new guy. I think I originally had something here for the Dolphins, but I feel like we kind of really touched on everything. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go one in the NFC East. You're going to probably love me. It's okay. Fly, Eagles, fly for the rest of the year. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Don't get me wrong. I like what Fulgham is shaping up to be. Whoever thought that Fulgham will be the spotlight right now? I mean, he's playing great football right now. Carson Wentz looks good. When Carson Wentz looks good, but I'm not sold yet. This division is horrible. That game was a snooze fest. There were some great things that came out of that game, though. Bart Scott, really showed up, stepped up.
Yep.
So fly Eagles fly. I think they're migrating this season. So
here's what I'm saying. Okay, Carson Wentz is actually playing smart because he's utilizing his athletic ability. When they did well and he was helping lead these Eagles teams to playoff berths, not Super Bowl victories, but playoff berths, he was playing with his legs, creating the plays, helping those wide receivers. I think if Carson Wentz continues to play at a high level, and the reason why I think they're gonna fly Eagles fly to the division title. Not like it's like you said, it's a great division by any means. But I think they're going to play at this level because they're coached well. Doug Peterson is a smart coach. He brings the best 11 guys on both sides of the ball. He wants to win. And I think when it gets down to it, I think the Eagles are playing at a high enough level. I mean, look, they literally lose to the Ravens by 2. And really it was because of a horrible offensive line play that caused Wentz to read the play wrong. So
right.
I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East right now. At this point, I think they're going to win the division. They're going to be the worst team in the NFC playoffs. I mean, you're going to talk about wildcard teams are going to have way better records than them. But I think Eagles win the division, and I think they continue to show they're the best team in the worst division.
Facts. Moving on.
Let's see. I didn't really have any more at that point. So I mean,
I'll throw one in.
Go for it.
I throw it in because look, Washington fans is really like grinding my gears right now. Talent progression, fact or fiction. You know what I give it? Next.
What?
Next. All the way. Next.
Yeah, I don't think I'm with you. I think it's a fiction thing. I don't really think I've seen enough from the guy. He's had the opportunity. If you're ready, when you're given the shot and you're ready, you take advantage of it. Like Tua. If Tua doesn't come out and at least show that he's ready in the sense of he's ready to play, make some, throws, reads, kind of keep it where it's supposed to be. I'm not expecting anything huge. And if he does what he's supposed to, then cool. But you haven't seen that from Allen. You have not. I think that, unfortunately, the offense has looked better with Haskins, which is
Yeah.
Hard to say, man. Okay, so then I got one here. I guess something that we haven't necessarily talked about. DK Metcalf, the next Megatron. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Here's why. There will never be a Megatron. There will never be a Megatron.
Okay,
But
okay.
DK Metcalf is DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is DK Metcalf.
So DK Metcalf is the next Donkey Kong. Okay, let's go.
He's exactly. Yep.
Here's what I say. Fact on the point that DK Metcalf is going to leave the Seattle Seahawks organization as the number one receiver in the history of their franchise.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Largent, step to the side. You were great in the '80s, but there's a guy by the name of DK who's getting ready to come in and trash all the records. Do I think he's another Megatron? No. Megatron was a physically unique, fast, smart. He was
bigger body.
Megatron was Megatron. He's unique. So
the guy ran a 4.4. Was what 6'5"?
6'6", I think. Yeah, he was massive, running.
Yeah. Ran like a 4. Ran like a 4.2.
Yeah. So I think DK is arguably one of the best wide receivers in the game today.
I think he is.
No doubt.
And well, Niners fan.
Oh man, ouch. Well, with that being said,
you save this tape.
Right, we're gonna save this. We're gonna have to, crop that little thing there, send it out, put it on the blog, just get it viral.
I know where you live, Mr. Producer Man.
So yeah, with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and transition over here to the last thing of the show. But before we do so, we're gonna go ahead and send our boy CJ on out the way. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for your time.
It's always a pleasure to talk football with one of the best guys in the game, which is you, Zach, and of course, Condor. You guys have been awesome.
Thank you, man. You have a good night, and we'll talk at you soon.
Take care, man.
All right, so here we go. Boom, bada, bam.
Bada, bam, ba, boom. I don't know. What do you got on your mind?
Oh,
hey, I think I know. It has to do something with something leaking something. But I don't know. You go ahead and let's hear what you got.
Yeah, man. It's like I have this door downstairs that, I try keeping it closed, and I try letting, the smallest amount of air out possible. Try to keep it locked tight, but I like to try to keep things in order, which is what I thought was going on in Miami until the door got opened and the information of Tua got out.
All right.
And here we are in this conundrum, new possible narrative that Miami is a bad organization. Miami did Fitz wrong. Come on. Did him wrong. We've given this man a nice chunk of change to basically lose games.
Right.
Like, what do you want? You knew what you're coming into. You just said here a couple months ago in August, I could pull it up if I want to. We'll just, make it short and sweet. It's not going to be long before Tua takes over. I am the placeholder. He is the future. I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Move forward. I am heartbroken. I don't know why I lost the job. I'm going to cry about it. No.
Essentially, here's what I gotta say. I think the magic is there, but the magic is not enough. The Dolphins are finally relevant. Come on, they're relevant. They're playing smart. They're playing fast. You put your best opportunity out there. You may be 1 year premature on this, maybe. You know what? Why not? The 49ers were premature, and guess what? We went all the way to the Super Bowl, and we're one play away from winning a Super Bowl. So be premature. Go out here, take Tua. Hopefully he stays safe. Hopefully this offensive line protects him because I think the sky's the limit for this kid. I've been high on Tua ever since, and I don't like Alabama. I'll put that out there. I don't support the Crimson Tide, but I think they put out plenty of high talent. And Tua is a generational talent. Miami hasn't had a good quarterback like this in a long time that they could be happy about. I think it's time for the Dolphins to buy in. Brian Flores has changed the culture in one of the worst teams for the past 3 decades. I mean, it was a horrible culture in that locker room. You know, we had guys going down there wanting to commit suicide because they were even being bullied by people bringing people in who bullied them, and just problems all day long.
Have people doing cocaine in their offices,
Exactly. Horrible.
Mhm.
Not they weren't about winning. Brian Flores, front office change. You're talking a new franchise. You're talking some guys who are like, you know what, we're here to bring this franchise back to what it was. You know, respectable, one of the best in the game. I think the Dolphins are going to play extremely well for the rest of the season. I think they make a run at the first AFC East title in quite some time, and I think Tua goes out here and shows all the Dolphins fans what they're gonna see for a while.
I agree. I'm going to talk more about it next week, obviously, because he's not going to play this week, so I don't want to get too on the hype train yet and give away my exact thoughts on what exactly I anticipate to see next Sunday against the Rams. But I'm excited. I'm glad the time's come. It's a little earlier than I would have liked, but again, I trust Flores. I trust Greer. If they say it's time, it's time. And what I saw, yeah, it was garbage time, whatever, but to have two guys in his face when he rolled out to his left and to make the throw that he did, that shows me something for a kid who hasn't played or taken snaps in quite some time.
Yep.
I'm excited to see where he's going to go, what he's going to do for us. He wants to be here. He wants to be a Dolphin. It's an exciting time. Again, it's been a long time since Miami's had a exciting team or something to say, hey, they might be on the map for a while, but here it is. It's arrived, and I hope it is what it's made out to be. I hope it's not one of those Ryan Leaf stories.
Right.
The last thing I need is a fluke.
Well, you're lucky you don't have the Spanos running your franchise. And yeah, Charger fans, I did say that. But I, you know, I don't know. I think you guys are in a great position. I think you need to close the locker room door or that door you're talking about a little bit tighter. Make sure no one, lets that noise in or that air out or whatever. Just go out here and play football. Play football like you have been and have fun. These guys are looking like they're having fun. They're playing loose. Go out here and have fun. Protect your guys. Play as a team. I think Dolphins go on. Take care of business against the Rams because I don't think the Rams are as good as their record says.
I like it. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope he gets going on a roll. I hope this team can continue the hot, dominant play, especially on the defensive end. To, give him opportunities, at offense to really get things rolling. Curious to see how that's going to go. We might have a whole new, different look at offense. I think we will, but I think we'll see a lot of different plays. But I think obviously you'll see a lot of things flipped, obviously to go towards the left-handed style.
Yep.
But overall, I'm happy so far at the season. I have nothing to really complain about. We've had good play from people that I wanted to see good play from, and I've seen my favorite corner probably all time in my team. I don't know that I'll probably see a corner like I've watched Xavier Howard. I've watched him from first snap to now. I've watched his whole career and just the growth that the kid's had and how he went from getting beat and has slowly progressed and gotten better and multi-interceptions, and now he has the 4-game streak. Like, kid's really putting a career together and a resume, and I'm hoping, he keeps building on it. I hope he can be the reason that, we do get a chance at a championship. And I also hope that Tua is the reason, too. I think with everything going on, we have every possible chance to win this division and host a playoff game. But it's going to take us to take care of business on the back end. We have to beat the Patriots and the Bills next time we play them. Obviously, sweep the Jets, put us back in a good situation there. But definitely starts with playing the Rams and a couple of these other teams. I know that we need to watch for that game to get flexed. I've already heard there's a potential for that to get flexed to Sunday night already, which I think we're going to have to pay attention to a lot of the games this year when it comes to Miami with Tua. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of games getting moved to, national television. I might even – it's not even far-fetched to say that if Miami's hot, that you don't see the Tua versus Patrick Mahomes Kansas City game, Week 14, flipped and put in prime time or something. Not even far-fetched at this point.
The marketability is there. Fans want to see it. The league wants to see it. It's a good marketing scheme for the NFL to continue to keep their viewership high. I don't see why not. I don't see why not at all. I think the Dolphins deserve to be flexed. They've been playing hot. They've been playing well, and it's good football to watch.
Most definitely. Well, I think you know what else? It has been fun talking with you this evening. That's for sure. It's been a good time. I've enjoyed the show. I've always, always down to talk sports. Love having CJ in here. Yep. Jonah was having technical issues, was unable to join us, but it sounds like he'll be here with us next week. Hoping I might have to go, pull his arm or something, get him back in here. We gotta get him back talking about those wonderful Vegas Raiders who, pulled the upset, and he's, not around. What's going on?
Oh, we get a Raiders upset of the Chiefs, and he disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened? We could have had a let's be honest moment here, right?
I know. What kind of Raiders fan is he? Oh. But all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Thanks for joining us on this wonderful Saturday night, on this edition of Saturday Night Sports. You guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy football tomorrow. We'll check you out Thursday.
Be safe.